true paranormal story.
Nobody's ever gonna believe this. What the heck did I just see? Started seeing ghosts when I was only 8 years old. I saw that boy disappear.
This isn't real. Welcome to the Raker'z Dozen. Raker'z Dozen. Welcome back to another episode of the Raker'z Dozen, a true paranormal story podcast. And if you're new here, thank you for joining us on this trip down a paranormal plane. Today's episode's a little different, but I think you'll enjoy it. Before I forget, I do have a question for you. What has been your favorite Raker'z Dozen story so far? And just as a reminder, if you have any paranormal stories that you'd like to share, please email me at therakersdozen@gmail.com. Follow us on social media for show updates, merch, and live streams. And with that, let's get into it. I debated for a long time whether to share this story. I think it's because it's the only experience where I wasn't sure if I was awake or sleeping. All the paranormal experiences that I've had in my life, I'm awake, and I'm just going about my day when things happen. But this one was different. The story involves astral projection. Astral projection refers to an out-of-body experience during which the astral body leaves the physical body and travels to the astral plane. In 1993, when I was about 13 or 14 years old, I spent the weekend at my buddy's house. The same house as the boy in red, the lady in white, the lady in black in prior episodes. By now, experiencing paranormal things in my friend's house is normal for me. And this was just another normal Friday night, playing video games, eating snacks, talking smack, watching horror films, the same stuff we always did. At about 2 a.m., we finally went to bed. Because I practically lived at my buddy's house, I actually had my own bed. Yeah, my own bed. So anyways, we knocked out and I remember waking up around 3:15 a.m. I didn't have to use the restroom. I just woke up as if something woke me up. I remember rolling over and looking at the alarm clock that he had on the dresser. It was one of those old digital alarm clocks in the 90s. The one that had loud-ass, super annoying buzzing when it went off. I felt like something was calling me to the living room. The room was dark, but his bedroom door was open and I could see a faint orange light casting from the kitchen. I assumed it was from the kitchen because at night they left the light above the oven on, and it would cast this soft orange glow towards the dining room area and my buddy's room. And like I said, I spent so much time here, I knew all the little nuances of the house. And I just couldn't resist it that something was telling me, go investigate the kitchen. I can't explain it. You know when you hear a noise and your curiosity forces you to search? Well, it felt just like that. And as I stood up out of bed, I noticed my buddy was still asleep. I slowly got up, trying not to wake him up, and I walked into the dining area which faced the kitchen. Sure enough, that little light above the oven was on. And just then I realized how quiet the house was. My spidey sense started going off. Something was wrong. To be honest, I was expecting to see a spirit or something worse. Over the years, I began recognizing my body responding to when something is wrong. You can call it intuition or whatever, but my heart began pounding hard and my adrenaline would kick in, and I'd start to feel anxiety that wasn't mine. What I mean is there's a difference between being scared and feeling anxiety. That's not what this was. I wasn't scared at all. I was actually calm but alert and ready to fight, not flight. This has become a normal part of my life now. So when I say I feel anxiety and it's not mine, there was no reason for me to feel anxiety because I wasn't scared. But it was still there. I understood this more as I got older, the difference between internal self-anxiety and anxiety which feels like it's being pushed on me by the environment. Anyways, I look around the kitchen, the dining area, and even the living room. And then I started to notice that the color everywhere looked slightly less saturated. Now, I'm a photographer, so it looked like the colors were duller, like they were slightly muted or less colorful. Even the light in the kitchen didn't look as orange as normal. I guess if you've ever watched a movie and there's certain scenes where the color just looks dull, that's kind of what it felt like. I decided I'm just gonna go back to bed and started walking to my buddy's room. As I entered the room, I saw something that scared me so bad. I saw myself sleeping on my bed. It was me lying there. My heart started pounding so hard that I thought it was gonna explode. I start to feel like I'm gonna hyperventilate and begin feeling like I can't breathe. I had to tell myself, remain calm. This is just a dream, right? There was something deep down inside my soul telling me this is real. And I managed to somehow astral project out of my body. I stood there for what felt like an hour. But when I glanced over to the alarm clock, it had only been a few minutes that passed. It felt like time was extremely slow during this experience. I made the choice I needed to somehow get back into my body, but I wasn't sure how. I've seen a bunch of ghost movies and it was pretty clear to me I needed to go lay back down into my body. And if it worked in the movies, I'm sure it would work now, right? I honestly said, fuck it, and walked towards my body on the bed. I got chills just looking at myself. I looked so peaceful. Something deep down told me I needed to re-enter my body or I'd be stuck on this plane. I looked at the clock, 3:46 a.m. So with slight hesitation, I laid down on the bed and on top of my physical body and closed my eyes. What I felt next was the most painful experience I've ever felt. I opened my eyes, my body hurt so bad. It felt like I was electrocuted or something. I couldn't breathe, but felt like I was jolted awake. And then I looked at the clock, 3:46 a.m. I made it back. I'm not sure how I was able to astral project that night. All I know is I never wanted to experience that again. And when I saw the movie Insidious for the first time, my jaw dropped. I remember thinking, was I ever in danger? While I was in the astral plane. I now truly believe I could have been in danger. You know, the pain I felt re-entering my body gave me nightmares for a few weeks. And I've only ever experienced that level of pain one other time in my life. And that was after having surgery on my right leg. I'll give you the cliff notes. I had some type of infection from a bug bite, went to urgent care, could barely walk, and the doctor made an incision in my leg to let it drain. And drain it did, right into the back of my leg, causing a massive infection. I almost lost my leg because of that, doctor. 2 days after my urgent care visit, I went to see my primary doctor because I was in agonizing pain. And because of the action of my primary, I was rushed into surgery the next day. But after the surgery, I was left with an open wound the size of a golf ball, stuffed with gauze. And after a few days of surgery, I had to pull all of that gauze out by myself. It took me 3 hours to pull it out 1 inch at a time. And there was about 6 feet worth of gauze stuffed in my leg. The pain was so unbearable that I nearly passed out twice. That's the type of pain I felt re-entering my body. Honestly, I'm not even sure if that's normal or not. But I knew after that experience, I made a conscious choice to protect myself now and try not to open any doors. And although that wasn't completely successful, I now started to step back from curiously trying to seek out the paranormal. I never astral projected again. Thanks for listening to this episode, and if you have a story that you'd like to share, please email me at rakersdozen@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on social media. All the links are in the description. We appreciate your support. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, please leave us a 5-star review and help us grow the show. And if you're on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for listening to the Raker'z Dozen, a true paranormal story podcast.